the destruction of families, DACA, DAPA, all gone. Children who have lived here for 20 years, brought here as children, deported. I don't know if they'll be able to get a national stop and frisk. I mean, there are people who are much more vulnerable than someone like myself. Or other commentators, for that matter. And that's not to mention, like, the impact on, like, sort of the cultural impact. You know, we're just talking policy here. I mean, you can see the cultural impact all around us. How many videos have you seen come out now where some guy in a car is yelling at someone else who's got the video camera because that person holding the video camera is either brown or black or whatnot? This is, you know, this is the thing, and I've been reading about this authoritarian stuff, and we're still going to work on getting Bob Altemeyer on. I'm not sure that's going to happen in anytime soon, but you can go to authoritarians.org and read his book. And I'm going to talk to him about maybe the audio version, but it's unleashing something that is a personality trait as much as anything else. And this guy has done clinical research for 40 years, documenting the existence of 20 to 25% of people in North America who have this personality trait that is activated by an authoritarian leader. Man, a guy who says, I can do this, I can take care of it. And it comes out, they also tend to be misogynist, racist, xenophobic, although there are instances where they won't behave that way if they don't feel they have the authorities' permission. Like, the authorities' permission is what activates these people. Now, I don't know if this lady is just simply off her meds, and I don't say that casually. I think it's possible. But it's also indicative of a lot of stuff that we've seen. She's at a, what is this? What is the place, a John's or something?
Michael's.
A Michael's, like a craft place. And apparently, they didn't have a bag big enough for what she wanted to purchase. And so the checkout person said, well, we do sell bags for $1 that would be big enough for that. And apparently this set her off. And there's another woman who's got a kid who apparently was like, I got to videotape this.
Why don't you shut your face? And I voted for Trump, so there. What, you want to kick me out because of that? And look who won. And look who won. And look who won.
Okay, this lady is actually screaming that she's being discriminated against.
I should be discriminated against. Okay.
Pause it. So here she is in this argument with a black woman who apparently is working at the counter, convinced that she's been discriminated against because of the bag, and has to announce that she voted for Trump. Does this remind you of anything? Like maybe that douchebag on the plane that we played yesterday? I voted for Trump. How about it? And look who won. Look who won. There's a certain defensiveness.
Because they didn't really win.
Well, that and the fact that they realized, like, oh, I didn't know that the black people would still be around today. I thought he won.
What are you doing here?
So here she is. She's going to go on.
Okay. I don't know what you think you're videoing, lady. I don't know what you think you're videoing. I was just discriminated against by 2 black women. Yes, I was. And you being a white woman, you literally thinking that that's okay. You standing there with your baby thinking that's okay. I don't know what you're videoing. But your child is stealing.
She's not.
Yeah, I don't think you paid for that.
Ridiculous.
And I can video you too, lady.
Please
and I can video you too.
Please
Why don't you go home to your husband who's cheating on you? Why don't you go home because you're... Here, I'll just videotape your child.
Okay.
Yeah, there you have it. Harassing minimum wage workers, non-white minimum wage workers, has to be peak Trump, right? I mean, that's like...
I don't see how it gets any more textbook than that. I mean, is she just running a clinic?
Maybe she should replace Kellyanne.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other element that we're going to get with Trumpism, right? These are still best case scenarios. Best case scenario is that we get right-wing agenda, policies, destruction of our social safety net, drawing back literally 100 years of rights that have been established. Rights as citizens, rights as to get health care, voting rights. Literally, that's all best case scenario. Worst case scenario is that we have some type of actual attack from ISIS, not some kid who gets self-radicalized and supposedly commits a terrorist attack, but rather one that is clearly like a Paris attack. Is that possible here? Well, the last time we had a Republican president, they were able to do something like this.
Stop bothering me with the briefings. I'm trying to watch TV.
But the worst case scenario is what happens then, because they're lining up now. Chris Kobach et al., maybe their head of Department of Homeland Security, who knows who that guy is going to be. But Flynn and Bannon, even Priebus is coming out and saying, well, there is a problem with Islam. I mean, parts of it. So the worst case scenario is that we move in to the full-on fascistic kleptocracy. And that's not off the table. But right now, we're going to stick with just sort of, today anyways, dealing with how you can push back against the Medicare attacks and the Affordable Care Act attacks. And I got more to say that. Hey, it's Sam Seder. Why don't you subscribe to this channel? You can do so right over here. Subscribe.